Hello, and welcome back to Agape Intelligence AI, your 9-day intensive, day 6. I'm so excited because today we're going to be working on boundaries. And the great thing about AI with boundaries, because we're headed for the ultimate goal of our key to happiness, which is healthy and self-full relationships. And with boundaries, we're going to really be looking at not just what we don't want to have happen, but what we do want to have happen, and adding our consequences to behaviors. So, can I share something with you? I did dialectical behavioral therapy, and it is so wonderful. And I have to tell you, here are the 4 things that we really, really have to embrace. I've said it before. You can only change yourself. You cannot and you will not be changing anybody else. Life is sometimes unfair and it can really suck. And it's all about embracing the reality of that. Remember our AI house? Well, boundaries are really the fence, the white picket fence around the house. And we are really going to talk about that. Not only do you have a fence, but you have a gate, and being able to maintain your gated fence. Now, I mentioned the fabulous Marsha Linehan. She is the woman who came up with dialectical behavioral therapies. And it's so important as a part of AI to help you to understand distress tolerance and being mindful, and really, the psychology behind emotions and behaviors and effective learning and listening, because there is a real physical side to what we do when we communicate with each other, and how we're feeling and how we think people make us feel, except for that we really do own our own feelings. So being able to listen and share boundaries and clarify, I'm feeling this way. I just need to let you know it doesn't feel good to me. It's not putting the other person in a place where, okay, you're making me feel like this. No, I own my feelings. I feel this way, and I need to let you know it doesn't feel good to me. And here's what we're going to need to do. So this is what you're going to be able to do by setting boundaries. I'm so happy for you. Now, remember, our goal is to deeply connect. And this requires all the skills that we've learned so far and that you've been practicing every day, because one thing builds upon another and we're putting them all together. So you matter, and so does the other person. We've been talking about the ability to listen and how we listen in an AI manner, suspending the need to be right, replacing it with doing the right thing, learning about body language and tone and discernment, and choosing behaviors despite emotions, as well as we're working on boundaries today. You've been using when, what, who, and where to fact find and verify your emotions. And this is where we're going to use this same concept with other people so that we can understand and clarify what their perspective is. And we can get down to where they trust us enough where we can ask them the how and the why. Okay, so as we're working on creating our personal boundaries, one of the tools that we're going to be working with, and you have this as a handout, and that is not only your boundary handout, but you're also going to be using your being human handout. And it's going to help you to craft boundaries apart from situations in a calm place. And you're going to be really working on not just what you don't want, but also what you do want, and combine this with consequences to behaviors should others choose not to respect your boundaries. Because remember, other people have a choice. And if they choose not to respect your boundaries that are reasonable boundaries, then really you have to be able to give them consequences before you're in the situation. Keep in mind that while you're creating your boundaries, you can say no with respect and express your positive or negative feelings in a respectful manner, okay? You can change your mind, you can make mistakes, and you don't need to be perfect, nor do you need to be right. It's okay to want or need something from someone else and ask for what you want or need. You can withstand not always getting your way. It's okay if you don't get your way, because sometimes you have to be able to compromise. You have the right to be wrong and still be a good person, because really you can right your wrongs. You get to make mistakes. You can validate others and still speak up for yourself. No law says other people's opinions are more important than yours. You can feel good about yourself and happy even when others dislike you or what you say. Remember, the way somebody feels is their reality, not necessarily a fact. Your boundary handout and your human rights are waiting for you. Yes, they are. And remember, we went over some key concepts, but both handouts really do tell you even more to help you work on setting up your boundaries. They're going to be broad-based at first, and then as time goes on, you're going to be able to make them even more specific. Now, I'm throwing this in here, surprise! Yes, surprise. Because I need to talk a little bit about unforgiveness and hoarding of the mind. That's what I call it, hoarding of the mind. Treat the past as lessons and opportunities to choose to live in your genius zone. Reoccurring thoughts are going to happen, feelings are going to come and go, and it's okay. The question is, did the pain and suffering teach you something valuable to help you move forward in your life? How can you use the lessons to be your best self? Choosing to hold on to pain and hurt and anger is really a way to block yourself from being able to thrive. And that's really what we're working on too here at AI, is you being able to understand, yes, you've had pain, and yes, you've been through suffering, and yes, you've had experiences, great and wonderful ones too. And we're going to use all of those as stepping stones to thrive past our past. Your wonderful, your brilliant future awaits. All right, I'll check you guys out soon.